If you want to teach creative writing in your homeschool, I have just the thing for you that Karen Andreola sent me. This is a wonderful addition to your homeschool, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So if you have reluctant writers, which I feel like there's always one in the bunch that is a little bit of a more reluctant writer, this is going to be such a great addition for you to add. Now, this can be a full curriculum or this can be a supplement, but I'm going to show you inside of Karen Andreola's book called Story Starters. This is a book that is about creative writing. It is written for Charlotte Mason homeschoolers, but you do not have to be a Charlotte Mason homeschooler to use this. This is a fantastic resource. Now, the gist of this book is very easy. Karen starts off a story with a picture, and your student is going to finish the story. So they don't have to make up a story from complete scratch. That's why it's called Story Starters. She gives you the starter, and then your student is going to take it and go. Now, every single story has some kind of problem or some kind of excitement, but there is always something for the child to solve. So we're looking at critical thinking skills and all kinds of things that are going to be involved in this book. And I'm going to give you a look inside of this book. I think you're going to love it. It is the sweetest book, and she picked out all the pictures herself. Karen did an amazing job with this book. I'm so excited to show this to you. Now, this can be a supplement to your writing curriculum, like if you have a more straightforward curriculum and you want to add in some creative writing, or this can be your entire writing curriculum and the backbone of your language arts curriculum, because not only are you getting creative writing, but there's vocabulary in there. You can add a spelling list if you want with those vocabulary words. You're going to look at some grammar things in there, and you could even make your own grammar curriculum out of this. That's just my opinion. If you feel comfortable doing that, I think that is absolutely possible. This could really be the backbone of your language arts curriculum. And the great thing is you only need one book per family. You do not need to get every single child a book. This is not a consumable. So you could read the story starter to all ages of your children, and they can all make their own narratives as you are finishing up this story. And then you're going to get, however many children you have, you are going to get that many different versions of how each child solved it. And you can level up and level down with the ages and grades of your children. This is an all-age book. So this is for any of your children who are ready for creative writing all the way up to grade 12. So this is very versatile, and this is a great book to have on your shelf. And I think what I'm going to do, because I actually finished our IEW way earlier than I expected to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some of these creative narratives to our homeschool, maybe just like one a week, just to keep those creative writing juices flowing for my son. And I think that this is going to be a fantastic addition to the end of our school year, because we still have like 9 or 10 weeks left before we're done. So this is going to be a great thing to add to the end of our year. So I'm so glad she sent this to us. I'm going to add in a video of the inside of this book because I want you guys to see everything inside of here. Okay, so this is the Story Starters book itself. It is a little bit thicker of a book. It's a little bit taller. This is a writing curriculum in the style of Charlotte Mason by Karen Andreola. Now, so she even autographed it for me. Isn't that sweet? Okay, so we're going to take a look inside of this book here. Now, here's the table of contents. Now, the first 37 pages alone are pages for you that are notes for the teacher. So this is an introductory area on how to use this book. So the first 37 pages are just for you. And then section 2 is all the story starters, and that's the meat of this curriculum. And then section 3 is hints for polishing. Section 4 is pictures. And then section 5 is closing. So there are 5 sections to this book. Section 1 is the notes for the teacher. And isn't this just so pretty? I love how this book is set up. It is such a beautiful book. Okay, so here's the first 37 pages. Again, these are just the notes for the teacher on how to use this book and what you're going to do in Karen Andreola's lovely way of writing and explaining how to do Charlotte Mason activities here. I love that. Section 2 is the story starters. Okay, so here's a short introduction to the story starters. Now, a story starter is the beginning of a story, and what your writer is going to do is they are going to read the story, and then they're going to come to this break, and they're going to have a picture, and they're going to finish this story. The picture goes with the story, so they have an introduction to this story, and then there is going to be some kind of conflict that they're going to have to solve. And so the story is going to end, and then you're going to ask your student what happens next. Write that down. Make me a story on what happens after we just finished this sentence. And then with a room full of kids, you're going to have a bunch of children with a different answer to how this story ends. So each story starter sets the student in the middle of a conflict, and there is a problem to solve. Some of the story starters have lots of action in them. Some of them are more gentle, and that's the beauty of story starters. There is something for everybody in here. So once you ask your child what happens next, that's when the creative juices start to flow, and that is when your child is going to start their story. And then there's going to be some little writing help areas right down here that you can use to help your children. And then there's going to be additional challenges for older children. And this is one of the great things about story starters is you can use this as a large part of your language arts curriculum, because not only do you have writing in here, but there's vocabulary. You can make a spelling list out of the vocabulary list. So then you have spelling, you have writing, you have vocabulary, you have speech, you have language, you have reading. There are so many elements of language arts packed into this book. So you can use this however you want. This could be the main spine of your language arts curriculum, or this could actually just be a supplement to another additional language arts curriculum. And you can add in one of these story starters maybe once a week, or maybe twice a week, or maybe once a semester. You can use this however you want. Now with this book, you only need one book per family. And then you read out the story, you show them the picture, and then tell everybody to go and finish their creative narrations and just watch how your children bloom with this type of writing. This will also involve critical thinking skills, because they are going to have to think through some maybe challenging problems that are within these stories, and they have to figure out how they want to solve the problem, and how they solve the problem might be completely different than how their brother or sister solved the story problem. So it's a great way to get your child to solve problems and then discuss it with their siblings too, and see how everybody else solved the problem. And then that can spark some really good family discussions. Now, if the name Karen Andreola sounds familiar, I talk about her a lot. She has written some of my very favorite homeschooling books, including the Charlotte Mason Companion, absolute must-have. And then she has also written Mother Culture. So many of us know this book. You need to read this book. Everybody needs to read this book. I don't care if you are a Charlotte Mason homeschooler or not, you need to read that book. And then she has also written this series of books, this historical series of books that I absolutely love. I did a whole video on this book. Absolutely life-changing for me. I love this book. But this is actually the third book in the series. This is called Michael's Gentle Wife. Actually, this one is first, Pocket Full of Pine Cones, and then it's Lessons at Blackberry Inn, which I'm reading right now, and then it's Michael's Gentle Wife. But I actually read this first, and it's totally fine if you just only read this one, or if you read this one first, it's totally fine. So she wrote the Charlotte Mason Companion, which is like my little homeschool book where I keep this like right by my couch all the time, and I have like all these tabs where I have things saved and highlighted, underlined, all the things. And then Mother Culture is just a book that I think every homeschool mom needs to read like during the summer. And I will have the links to everything for you down below, but this one is her curriculum book, which is Story Starters. Story Starters is a great addition to your homeschool. Absolutely 100% recommend this book. I'm going to use it myself, so you know if I'm using it, I recommend it. So if you are looking for an all ages and stages writing curriculum for your family, especially if you are a Charlotte Mason homeschooler, highly recommend Story Starters. I love this book. This is so sweet, but it's also got adventure for boys. It's got sweet stories for girls. There's something in here for everybody, and your students are going to blossom in writing with this. I can already see so many opportunities for discussions and stories and just really, really fun times together. So I will leave a link down below for this book, and I hope that you absolutely love it just like I do, and I can't wait to get started at the end of the year with our written narrations and creative writing. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy homeschooling.